Hey y'all, so my name is Alexis and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hey. It's my first video of 2026 and we're going to talk about a lot of things on this channel. But I know y'all came here for the nitty gritty and about how to start a home care agency in 2026. Um, First of all, we want to work on our mindset, okay? I've been hearing a lot of people say, it's oversaturated. So many people are doing it. I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm so lost. I've been stuck for 10 years. All of the things, guys. We need to work on our mindset. The first thing I want to tell you is it's not oversaturated. Take in perspective, there's billions of people in the world. There's no way that the agencies that are currently available can care for all of the billions of people in the world. So I want y'all to get out of that mindset that it's oversaturated. If this is your calling, if this is something that keeps you up at night and you just can't figure out how to put all of the things together, if this is something that's been on your mind for years and years, this may be the calling. This may be something for you to do because healthcare has to be some type of calling. A lot of us, recently, a lot of people are just joining into healthcare and not really providing the care. That's where the issue is. That's where the decline in healthcare has come. But I ain't gonna get started on all that because I could rant all day about, the things that I've seen in the declining of healthcare. But we're gonna talk about starting your home care agency and how you can be the change in healthcare that we need to see. Okay. So I want to tell y'all my favorite thing, my favorite word about starting a home care agency, and I'm just gonna be looking at my computer, looking at a few notes. My favorite thing, let me back up. So I help people get licensed. I help them get survey prepared and I prepare them for long-term growth. That's what I do. A little bit about my story is I am an LPN, or I say was an LPN for, I want to say this is year 15. So I was an LPN for about 12 years when I decided to completely leave healthcare alone. That was my thoughts. I'm like, I need to leave healthcare. I worked all the way through COVID. I didn't take any like vacations, sabbaticals, or anything. I worked straight through COVID. I saw, so many people pass away, there were so many codes, there were so many things going on in healthcare and during COVID. And by the time, everything kind of like mellowed out, I was mentally drained. And I said, this isn't for me. I'm going to leave nursing on a good note before, anything happens, before my body breaks down and things like that. So I'm like, I'm going to just completely retire from nursing. That's what I said. That's what I did. I worked my last shift in 2023 and I never went back. There was no resignation to get. Well, I was working agency during the time, so you really don't have to give a resignation. You just don't pick up anymore, but they still send me messages on those apps. Hey, when are you coming back? People call me from different facilities and ask me when am I coming back. But that was no longer for me anymore. Working on the floor as a nurse was no longer for me. So I left on a good note. I branched off into some other things. I started a skincare line. If you ask somebody if there's any business to start, your girl didn't start it, okay? So, but the last business that I was working in was my skincare line called Luxury Skin. And what happened was as I was, selling my body butters and my oils and things like that, people started to reach out to me. Hey, can you help me over here with my grandma? Hey, can you help me with my aunt? Hey, this is going on. A friend, she had a tragic event happen with her son. She called me up and asked me, what things that she may needed for his wound care. And, the calls started to come in. And I'm just like, I'm retired as a nurse, so I want to help them. It's in my heart to help them, but how can I help people and not be on the floor anymore as a nurse? So, looking around on social media, I'm seeing, home care, start a home care agency. And home care is not new. Home care is not new. It's been going on for years and years, but now it's like a buzz within the last couple of years, of people opening different agencies or whatever. So I did my research. I'm like, I could start a home care business. I could be like, behind the scenes doing everything, training people the way that I would want somebody to take care of me, and all of the things like that. So I'm like, let me look into the process of starting a home care agency. So I looked into the process, pulled up the application for my state in Illinois. I'm like, okay, the application fee is $1,500. Cool. All I got to do is fill out this application, send $1,500. They gonna send me a license. Boy, I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. I got my $1,500. I sent off my license, and I sent off my fee for the app for the license, and about a month later, I got some response and say, "Hey, we're still missing this. We're missing that." State of Illinois sent me a list so long, honey. It was longer than a CVS receipt. It was so long, and I'm looking like, "What is this?" Because I didn't do my research. I went straight to pay the fee, fill out the application. I figure it out down the line, honey. Boy, was I wrong. So they sent me this whole list of things to that I needed to correct on my application. I knew nothing about it. The terms that Illinois talks to you in, and probably some other states talk to you in and say, hey, you're missing background check policy in section 245.145 like that. And I'm looking like, where is section 245.1? Oh my God. So they're sending me these corrections that I need to do. So day in and day out, I'm trying to figure out where these numbers and codes are that they're looking for. So I started to research YouTube. I found some good people, like Coach Michelle, Simply Fajika, and there was another young lady. I can't remember her name, but they were all like, had information on my state. And wow, their information was extremely valuable. It wasn't enough for what I was looking for. They only could give the basics of what it took to open up a home care agency, unless you got to some type of into some type of mentorship or one of their programs and such. So, and I understand why they don't give out the information, because it's a lot. It's a lot to just explain and just try to um give people and work through it with people. Okay, so I'm looking at their YouTube. I'm like, okay, it's giving me bit by bit to get there, but it's just not getting me all the way there. I'm searching through Facebook groups trying to get help, and the consultant fees were extremely expensive. And I understand why, because now I have my own fees, but I understand why. And it was just something that I couldn't afford at the time. So um, I just began to look the information up. I even had friends who also had home care agencies, but I didn't want to like burden them. And they have $1 million. They still do have $1 million home care agencies, but I didn't want to like burden them to take me through every step that it takes to start a home care agency. So I'm feel like I'm smart enough. You are smart enough too to figure this out as well. But I'm like, I'm smart. I can figure these things out. So I'm researching, I'm reading, I'm day in and day out. I have to pull my edges out, honey, trying to figure this stuff out about starting a home care agency. So I figured out a little bit of bits and pieces, and then I sent my application back to the state. So they reviewed it. It was probably another month before they got back to me. Came back. That CVS list was just a little bit shorter, but it was still long. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the right direction. I think I know what I'm doing. Let me give them the things that they need. So go over the corrections again. And mind you, they only give you 10 days to make these corrections. So you got to really be on point. So this is my second time making corrections. And again, I'm in the state of Illinois. This is my second time making corrections. Okay. So I think I got it down pat, send it over again. Wait again about 30 days. This and then they sent it back again. So at that time in 2023, as far as I know, it I think it may not have changed, but as far as I know, in 2023, they were only giving you 3 attempts to correct that application before you had to start over, before you lose your application fee, which is $1,500 in Illinois, right? So I'm on my third correction. CVS receipt is a little bit long, but a little bit shorter, but still some things. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it day in and day out. I'm trying to figure out, like what exactly are they asking for? Because this it's like a foreign language to somebody who's never seen these codes and these regulations and things that they're asking for. But if you do your research, as that's my favorite line, you will kind of know what the regulations are that they're asking. Okay, so I'm sending it off. This is my third time I'm sending it off. I'm praying. I'm like, God, please, I don't have another $1,500 to give the state. And what am I gonna do next if I don't do home care? Like, I'm like, Laura, you put this in my heart. You know that I'm a person that wants to help people. You know that you told Laura, you the one that told me to get off the floor at nursing. We had this talk. So what am I gonna do if my application doesn't go through? Like what's next? But I couldn't see any other thing. And that's when I talk about mindset. I couldn't see any other thing outside of me getting licensed for my home care agency. I couldn't see it. So I believed, I prayed, I went on my application, sent it off. I think that they got back to me just a bit faster. And they told me if I made like one correction, that they would issue my license. So I made that correction. I got a license. I was like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. I finally got my license. So I'm just like, get your license, boom. You just take clients and service people and send a caregiver here and do this. And girl, you just sit back, kick your feet up, and let the money roll in, right? That's what I thought too. That's wrong too. That's wrong. There's so many steps, and I tell people all the time, while you're waiting for your license, it's very important that you are preparing your agency. Don't just sit back idle, because like I said, that was like a 90-day span where I just was waiting on a response from the state. And I'll tell y'all a story about how they changed up all the regulations on me, and I almost said I had to like start over. So it was a lot. It was a lot. So yeah, so there was like a 90, was it 90 days? It may have been longer, because I'm telling you, it may have been longer than 90 days. I think I applied in April, May, June, July, August. So it was about 120 days. Because in August of 23, some regulations changed. And then as they were issuing me, when they told me they were going to issue my license, something had changed and I had to send more. I have, when I tell y'all I've been through it all in the state of Illinois, I've been through it all. I felt like God was testing me to see if I really wanted this. He used me as the example, and it turned out to be a blessing, because now I can help other people. But okay, so I go back to that. So while you're waiting, there are still some things that you can do. You should be getting your office set up. You could be getting your employee files together. You can be getting where you're gonna perform the background checks, and you could be looking for things like that. And you're gonna be looking up how to market. There's Don't just make the waiting period idle time, and then when you get your license, you just like a deer in headlights. Okay, like what do I do next? What do I do next? No, prepare yourself. Okay, so we're going to talk about the steps of getting licensed, and walk you through some of the things to do to start your home care agency. Now, if you follow me on TikTok, and I'll post my TikTok name on the screen for you guys if you want to follow me. Follow me on TikTok. I have created a workbook, which is right here. Start your home care agency in 30 days. And I tell people all the time, that does not include licensing. This is the logistics. This is the getting started. This is the what software system and all the things I could do. So I'm gonna put a link if you want to purchase a workbook. I also have a kit that includes more things like the forms. It has a lot of little goodies in it. So I'll post a link down in the comments for you if you want to purchase to start your home care agency in 30 days. But I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the workbook, right? It's start your home care agency in 30 days, but that's not including licensing. Licensing depends on the state. But let me tell y'all something. In the midst of me learning the things about my state, Illinois, which I'm pretty good at, navigating Illinois, I started to learn about all other 50 states, right? And I'm just touching on the subjects. I'm just touching on each state. I'll go into depth. That's gonna take me some time, y'all. I think that maybe by the end of this year I'll know a lot more about each state as much as I know about Illinois, but I'm just like touching and getting a few little key pieces out of each state. But upon me creating, which I've also created mini guides, and I'll post a link to the mini guides in my comments on the a quick snapshot of what you need to start a home care agency in any state. So I have all of the states listed on my website, but upon me doing the research, I'm finding that a lot of these states don't take long to get licensed in. I've seen 30, 45. I've seen one that said 14 to 30 days to get licensed. And I can't, if I go see who it is, I'll post it somewhere up here and tell you which states take 14 to 30 days. But that's the average was 30 to 60 days you could be licensed, and some of them don't even have a lot of hard requirements. Now a state like New York, um I was told that they're really not even accepting applications because they have too many. Now if that's oversaturated, that's an oversaturated place, unfortunately. So if you're in New York, it's gonna be a while before you get licensed. But still, that doesn't mean don't do it. There it's space for everybody. It just takes a little longer in New York. Okay, so so I created the workbook. I'll post it for y'all to go. But let's talk about getting you started. So my favorite thing to tell people it all the time, because as a background as a nurse, I was a nurse, a medical assistant. I wanted to be a doctor, but schooling, I got over schooling, but I don't want to do school no more. But we always want to do research. We research when we can't find the answers, when nobody is giving you the answers, when you can't afford to get the answers you need. You do your research. You look up your state. You say you are in Iowa. Look up Department of Health in Iowa and see what the requirements are. And is they're not everything does not always jump out to you where it's going to be like, okay, Department of Health Iowa, here's the home care section. No, they're usually not saying home care. They're saying maybe like personal care services, or they're even saying like you have to dig into a category to say like aging or things like that. So you kind of got to navigate the website to dig in and find the things that you need. So do your research. What's included in research is finding out the requirements for your state, how much the application fee is, what are what are your qualifications as an administrator to open this agency, what else, licensing, the timeline, what type of insurances. So you are just gathering information at the beginning to make sure that you are capable of doing this. And in my mini guides, they even give you like a small overview about how much it costs. See if you can even afford to do this at the time, because see if you got to work a little overtime and save up for your application fee, because like I said, Illinois' application fee is $1,500, but in other states the application fee is like $250. I seen, oh, I might be wrong, but I think Florida, oh, I think it was Florida, their application fee was like $50. So just research, and then somewhere like researching. So make sure you do your research and see if this is something that you can afford at the time, at this time, application fee wise. If you have enough payroll available to hire your first caregiver and things like that. So always do your research, right? Then you want to understand how to structure the agency when you go apply for your LLC, corporation, and things like that. Um, most home care agencies, most home care agencies, you apply for an LLC, but some of them require you to do a corporation. I know that in my state of Illinois, they do want you to have a corporation, because when you start to go do the Medicaid and home services program and things like that, they require for a corporation. Because I started with LLC, I had to go back and incorporate. So that's just a little note for you. See what your state requires, okay, as far as the structure and things like that. Next, we talk about policy and procedure. Policy and procedures get so many people caught up and stuck, don't know what to do, don't know where to go. My advice, and I have that in my workbook, my advice to you is always to look under your state's regulations, right? and look under there, and they want to know, and you create your own policies, but they want to know how are you going to run your agency according to what they require. So that's basically how you write policy and procedures. My favorite example is if they say that all agencies should background check, all agencies and background check their employees. You take that and you tell your state how are you going to do it in your business. So you're going to say so and so agency is going to make sure they background check all staff according to da 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 da. That's how you do policy and procedures. Okay, it's just basically taking what they have and letting them know how you're going to apply that to your agency. Okay, now I've experienced a lot of people purchasing policies and procedures. I've experienced a lot of ripoffs, a lot of a lot of generic policies. Generic policies in 2026, generic policies really are not getting it. So you want to find somebody who's probably maybe worked your state before, or someone who is willing to craft policies according to your state so that you could have a passing application. Okay, be careful of getting things off of Etsy. Be careful of getting things, random people inboxing you and saying, hey, I can get you the policies. Look up their credentials. See what they've done. See if they have any reviews. See if they're on Google. See if they're on Facebook as a reputable person to get policies from. Y'all stop getting ripped off, please. In 2026, stop getting ripped off without doing y'all research. I told y'all that's my favorite word. I'm not gonna. Let's think about this. You gonna go get your hair done, right? Are you just gonna go to somebody who just jump in your inbox and say, "Hey, I do hair. Come to me"? No, you're not. You're gonna go look and see their work. See if it's something that you want from them. See if their quality and their styling is good. So take that same heed when you're looking for consultants or you're looking for someone to do your policies or whatever the case may be. Take that same consideration and look and see what they've done. And if they don't have anything, I don't want to say don't work with them, because I was just starting somewhere too, and people worked with me and they believed in me. But just try to get on the phone with them, try to get a feel, a vibe for them, and then still make a discerned decision before you get ripped off $1,000. I've seen so many people get ripped off thousands of dollars out. It's so unfortunate, but we gotta take heed. We gotta do our own research. Okay. So next, so we talked about how to structure, right? We talked about licensing. You go to your state's health department, and in my mini guides that are going to be linked, I have the department that you go to per state. So every state has, I have it put in the guide where you go to look for, but you go look for your state's health department and see what they require for you to start a home care agency. Okay, so first we talking about structure. That's the LLC corporation. You don't really want to do sole proprietor. Um, you want to really have this set up as a business. In my workbook, I also talk about things about business bank accounts, EINs. Okay, y'all, listen. I'm somebody who thinks big on a big scale. I'm already thinking in 2026 about how many different states I want to take my own home care agency to. So just think that you're building $1 million, $1 billion home care agency brand, and you want to be set up and look good from the jump. Okay, you want to set yourself up in case you need investors or you need funding down the line. Start right so you don't have to double back and say, oh, because somebody like me, like I always learned the hard way. Like, okay, I got the LLC, it was 150. Now I had to turn around and incorporate, so that was another 150. So here I am out of $300 because I didn't do it the right way the first way. So y'all don't be like me. Learn from me. Hey, y'all, I'm gonna always take the L. I don't want to say that. I don't want to speak that into the atmosphere, but I learn the lesson so that you don't have to learn the lesson. So start off right. I got it all written out in my workbook behind me. So we talk about the structuring. And then next you want to decide on what services, right? So a lot of people are confused. What's home care and what's home health, right? Home care is non-medical services. So what you're not doing is anything. You're not passing medication. you're not doing wounds, you're not doing IVs, you're not doing anything in the medical form to your clients, because that's out of the scope of practice for your licensing. Okay, so you're not doing that. You're every non-medical home care as things like errands. We're doing light housekeeping, light meal prep, maybe transportation to doctor's appointments, medication reminders, companionship. There's a lot of elderly people that may have lost their husband or wife, and they just want somebody to sit with them for 2 hours, to keep them from declining mentally and things like that. So it's so many avenues on home care and on the non-medical side. Don't get yourself caught up, fined, license revoked or suspended because you are providing medical services on a license that you do not have. Okay, so that's kind of the difference. One side is medical things, one side is not medical things, and your state has those things listed, what you can do and what you can't do. I know in Illinois, we have it. They got it broke down. They got it broke down in three categories on the things that we can do in this certain agency and what we can do in this certain agency. So look for that, okay? Um, you want to set up. So the next thing you want to do is set up systems before you hire. So we talking about things like payroll. We talking about, you want to make sure that you have access to check backgrounds. We're talking about home care software, and home care software is a whole different ball game. It depends on what you are looking for that will help you to determine on which company that you can use it. I'm not sponsored by any companies, or I don't have any like relationships with a company like that to mention any names, but in my workbook I do give a few examples of companies to go to. I give a company that I actually work with for my agency in my workbook on who you should choose. So I mean, not who you should choose, but who you might want to go with. And also the fact that if you have a medical and a non-medical agency, you're going to probably need two different type of software, because a lot of these software companies don't handle both. So you may need two types of software depending on if you have a medical and a non-medical agency. But they offer free demos for you to check out and see what their system offers. They let you know like down payments, and they let you know monthly payments and things like that. So my advice would be, when you're setting up your home care software, is to do a few demos and see which one sounds the best, which one is more affordable, which one fits the needs that you need for your company. Okay, so we're going to set up the system before you hire. Also, some of those home care agency software companies take a while to roll out, 30 days, 45 days. So although you can hire someone, if say you get a client before it rolls out, you can hire someone. You probably be doing things on paper until that home care software rolls out. Okay, but if you have it in advance, you'll be ready to roll as soon as you get your first client. Okay, and then next, that goes into preparing for your first client. Now everybody always say, how do you get a client, how do you get a client? Home care is not a business that you cannot. If you say, oh, I don't like to talk to people, oh, this ain't a business for you, because you got to talk to people. You got to talk to people. You got to gain their trust for you to come into either their home, their mom's home, their dad, their aunt, whoever's home, to or provide someone to come in their home. They want to be able to trust you. So you saying, I don't like people, I don't talk to people, I think that you might want to write a book then, because I'm just saying, you might want to pick another type of business, because this is a business you have to talk to people. You have to get out there. You have to get out in the community and do different things. I tell my story about how I got my first client. I was putting flyers on people's cars at the train station. Like I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking out of the box with my marketing. I'm like, hey, these are the people that's going to work on a train are the ones that probably got the parent at home. They're probably like the middle-aged group that's making the decisions, and they're probably looking for some help. So I was putting flyers on the cars, and boom, somebody called me like, hey, I need help with my mom. So just figure out, this is a biz. You got to get out there at barbershops, grocery store, just talk to people. I ain't gonna give away somebody else's marketing secret, but just go into different stores and just talk to people. Where the go sometimes where the elderly are. Go to the bingo hall. Like, it's so many different ways to get a client, y'all. And then a lot of y'all, We said a lot of y'all are already working in the medical field. Like, duh, you're in a gold mine. Like, why you're not, you cool with the social worker at the facility that you work at, and as long as there's no conflict of them referring people to you, hello, nurses, you a CNA or a nurse or any type of way that you're in the medical field, you are at the hands of the world of to get clients. Like, I'm confused when people tell me their jobs, and I'm like, okay, you didn't ask, like, and they like, well, no, I don't want people to know, girl or boy, y'all better get out there and get that money and stop being quiet about it. Tell people need help. Like, you got, this is a business you got to talk about. You got to market. You constantly got to market, and marketing can be not so expensive at the beginning. Like, you just go on Facebook and post on your page and let people know, hey, I started an agency. Does anybody's loved one need help? You get in these Facebook groups. You create your own Facebook page and you get to post and the people will find you. So don't come into this time about, I don't like to talk to people. I don't talk. I'm scared. You can't be scared. You can't be scared in this. Or if you hire a marketer to do all the things, but you got to talk up for your business. And so that's the last thing about the clients. How do you get your first client? You have to get out there. Also, if you're credentialed with in your insurances, sometimes they send referrals to you. There's different referral systems that you could pay for, but some of them are quite expensive, $800 a month to send you referrals. And although that could be good for you down the line, right now as you started out, you might not have $800 to give a company to send you referrals. You might not be ready to receive the amount of referrals that they may send you. So that's a lot of things you got to think about. Don't get greedy. Don't get overwork yourself. Like, oh, I'm about to take on 20 clients. That's 20 payrolls you got to do. That's 20 caregivers you got to hire. That's 20 payrolls, 20 background checks, and it's just you right now. There's 20 people that you got to train. That's 20 assessments you got to do. So don't get yourself overwhelmed trying to say, hey, I'm about to get all these clients. Yes, the goal is to get a number of clients, but everybody has a certain goal. And we can talk about numbers and things like that, but some people just want 12 full-time clients and they cool running a small agency, and 12 full-time clients at 40 hours a week brings in a lot of money. So don't get it twisted, but don't overwhelm yourself. Don't set yourself up for failure because of greed. Okay, if that makes sense. Like, work at your pace, work at at a good flow, because this is something new. And there's nobody training you. You know how we start a job and somebody train you, okay, you do this, that, and not here, not in home care. We learning as we go. We going to different conferences, we talking to different owners. It's nobody training us on how to do this stuff. So you have to, like, pace yourself. It's gonna get good. I promise you that it's gonna get good, but you just gotta, don't fall into the trap of what you may see on social media. They driving these kind of cars and stuff, and a lot of people that are wealthy home care agency owners, they did struggle. They started from the bottom, and they struggled, and now they're at a point where it's a lucrative for them. But don't get blindsided by that and be like, yeah, I'm about to take all the clients, everybody, anybody, anything. And that's another video I'm gonna talk to y'all about how to choose your clients, because we don't want to just take anybody. I'm telling y'all, yet me being in healthcare for 20 years, we just don't want any type of client. And I worked in a lot of places where they just was trying to fill up a space, and it made it hard for the staff. So you don't want to pick up anybody that's hard for your caregivers. You want to keep your caregivers. And I know nothing is promised for people to stay. You want to keep, you don't want to have a high turnover rate. You want to have a good community, people that you could trust, people when you go on vacation that you're not too much worried about, is so and so gonna show up, are they gonna do the right thing, things like that. So yeah, that's my little spiel on how to start a home care agency in 2026, right? So like I said, I help people start home care agencies here in Illinois, and I'm branching off to other states, but I've created mini guides for every state, so you could just get a snapshot of what it looks like to start a home care agency in your state. And I will have that link down in my in the comment section down below on how to do that. I also have a free startup checklist so that you don't miss anything, and that's also going to be linked down in my bio. But 2026 is your year. If this is something that has been on your mind for a while, please, let's go, let's get into it, get the help, book a consultation call with me. When I tell y'all, those consultation calls are gold. And even though y'all would say, oh, it might be too much or whatever, it's an investment in yourself. It's an investment for me to prepare for that call, and then to have wisdom downloaded from God on telling you what to do. Because y'all, it's not me doing this. If it was me, y'all be in trouble. I'm just saying, but this is all from God, who has given me this ability to help other people. And through, I tell people all the time, if it had not been for me struggling in the beginning of starting my home care agency, I would not be here to help other people get their agency started. So I thank God for that. Um, I'm I'm on here now. I'm on YouTube. I'm looking, I'm gonna be posting weekly, different on different topics. And if there's anything you want to see, let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you want to book a call with me, I'll post the link. Follow me on TikTok. That's the only place I am on TikTok, and I'm on Pinterest. I'm posting some things on Pinterest, but I haven't. I don't know if I'm gonna get on Facebook. And I've been thinking about Instagram, but right now, find me here on YouTube, find me on TikTok,